You wake up before you even out of bed, you've already checked your phone. A couple texts, some emails, a headline about the newest AI tool, another post telling you you're already falling behind, and somehow you haven't even started your day, but your brain already feels busy. Then you sit down to work. You open your laptop, you mean to spend 5 minutes checking something. Then you blink. It's an hour later. You were doing stuff the whole time, but the thing you actually sat down to do, you never even started. So you tell yourself, I need more discipline. I've got to stop procrastinating. But what if that's not the real problem? What if you've been blaming yourself for a game you were never supposed to win? Everyone thinks the most important skill in 2026 is learning AI. I don't think that's true. Because whenever everyone has access to the same AI, the advantage shifts to something else, something that's becoming incredibly rare: your attention. And if you're already losing that, then maybe AI isn't the biggest thing changing your future. Maybe it's everything that's been quietly training your brain before you even noticed. Think about the last time you had 5 minutes. Maybe you were waiting for your coffee, standing in line, waiting for an Uber without even thinking. Your hand reached for your phone. Not because you had to, because it almost felt automatic. That's the part most people miss. You think you're choosing what gets you attention, but almost everything around you is competing for it. Your inbox, your group chats, Netflix, TikTok, YouTube, breaking news, that one notification you swear you'll ignore it. And now, AI. Not because any of these things are evil, they're just doing exactly what they were built to do: earn a few more seconds of your attention, then a few more. Here's the twist: we call it getting distracted. The companies behind those apps call it engagement. Different words, same moment. Researchers and writers like Johann Hari, Nicholas Carr, and Cal Newport have all pointed to the same uncomfortable idea. Our attention isn't just being interrupted, it's slowly being reshaped by the environment we spend our lives in. And if your environment can quietly train your brain every single day, what else has been teaching you without your permission? Have you ever noticed that you're actually busy all day, but somehow by the end of it, it feels like you didn't even really think? You answered messages, you watched videos, you replied the emails, maybe you even used AI a few times. You were doing things all day. But when was the last time you sat with one difficult idea for 20 uninterrupted minutes? That's becoming rare, not because we're getting lazier, because we're getting better at switching. Every swipe, every notification, every tab you open teaches your brain the same lesson. If this takes effort, find something easier. And after thousands of repetitions, that lesson doesn't stay on your phone. It follows you even into your work, into your conversation, into books, into your own thinking. Nicholas Carr wrote about this in The Shallows. He argued that technology doesn't just change what we do, it quietly changes how we think. And now AI makes that temptation even stronger. I use AI almost every day. It helps me learn faster, it helps me write, it helps me solve problems, but sometimes I catch myself asking AI a question that I probably should have wrestled with myself for another 10 minutes, because that's where real thinking happens. Not when the answer appears, but while you're struggling to find it. So maybe the biggest risk of AI isn't that it'll replace human intelligence. Maybe it's that we'll slowly stop exercising it. And if that's true, how do you protect your attention without giving up technology that making you more productive? Maybe AI really is the biggest technological shift of our lifetime. I believe that, but I also think almost everyone is asking the wrong question. So, what's the answer? Is it deleting social media, throwing your phone away, quitting AI? I don't think so, because none of those things teach your brain anything. They just remove the test. Here is the idea that changed the way I think. Your attention isn't something you protect, it's something you practice every single day, whether you realize it or not. Neuroscientist Amishi Jha talks about this in Peak Mind. Attention isn't a switch, it's a skill. And like every skill, it changes depending on how you use it. Think about someone learning the piano. They don't become great because they play once for 3 hours. They become great because they showed up over and over and over again. Your attention works the same way. So instead of asking, how can I avoid distractions? Try asking, when was the last time I deliberately stayed with something difficult? Read one extra page before checking your phone. Sit with a question for 5 more minutes before asking AI. Finish your own thought before searching for someone else's. Those moments feel small, almost invisible, but that's exactly how your brain learns. Every time you resist the urge to escape discomfort, you're teaching your brain that not every answer has to arrive instantly. And in a world where almost everything is optimized to think for you, that might become one of the most valuable skills you can build. Because of attention can be trained, then maybe the future doesn't belong to the people with the smartest AI. Maybe it belongs to the people who still know how to think without it. People keep asking, how do I use AI better? Maybe the better question is, how do I make sure AI doesn't replace the part of me that makes me human? Because your ability to focus, to sit with uncertainty, to wrestle with an idea, to notice something other people miss, that's where original thinking comes from, and AI can't train that for you. Only you can. So tomorrow morning, before you unlock your phone, before you ask AI your first question, before the world tells you what deserves your attention, ask yourself one thing. What do I want to get my attention to do today? Because attention isn't just another productivity skill, it's the filter that decides what your life eventually becomes. We become what we repeatedly pay attention to. Maybe that's the most important skill in 2026. Not using AI, choosing where not to. If this channel is worth anything, I hope it helps you think a little more deeply in a world that's constantly asking you not to. If that sounds like something you want more of, subscribe, because every week we're going to explore the psychology, the science, and the ideas that help us stay human in the age of AI. I'll see you in the next one.